welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. It's a very good thought, this one, about our manager, Eddie Howe. That's right. Eddie has been speaking to Gary Neville on the overlap. Now, Gary Neville doesn't need me to help boost his views, but the link should be to that video below. Mark will put in the description, and it's definitely worth a watch because Eddie Howe once again comes across as such an impressive manager and an individual. But Eddie's been getting a lot of praise recently, so he's just surpassed his 100 games for Newcastle United. He's won 49 of those, so nice and easy sum for you there. You don't have to be Rachel Riley to work that one out. 49% win ratio. So anyone really is giving Eddie Howe praise, including certain journalists who, funnily enough, had such a staunch defence for the previous incumbent of the Newcastle United job, the Baron of Bacon, who was fucking atrocious and had barely half of that win ratio, which I don't really understand. So, I do respect the platform that certain journalist has been on talking about Eddie Howe and talking so well about Eddie Howe, but I can't shake the fact that he was so adamant of how good of a job Steve Bruce had done as well. It just doesn't wash with me. I'm sorry, I can't abide that. But anyway, this isn't about that prick. This is about, that's Steve Bruce, by the way, not the journalist. Not about that prick. This is about Eddie Howe. So Eddie Howe has been talking to Gary Neville, as we said there, and he's opened up on a lot of things, certainly Newcastle manager. The interview is brilliant. It takes place in the room, and there's 15 tactic boards or something like that. So all of us who accuse Eddie of being one-dimensional and having no plan B, maybe 15 tactic boards tell you otherwise. And he talks a lot about what he's kind of brought to Newcastle United, and how it's helped him and involved him and changed him, and what his kind of expectations are of him, of the owners as well, and everything else. And it was really candid, really open, and there's something quite special about these overlap one-to-ones. And we've been massive critics of Sky, certainly me in particular, more me than Mark, to be fair. Mark doesn't criticise many people, but I do criticise Sky quite a lot, and rightly so, because they have a real blindsided view of the greedy six and everything else. But when Gary Neville does the overlap, I feel like he has a bit more creative license, and I always find these one-to-one interviews are a lot more kind of open and honest, and Gary Neville seems to handle them really well, so massive credit to him for that as well. And the one he did with Anthony Gordon recently was brilliant. We also the interview he did with Dele Alli. He did a great one with Tyson Fury. So I do like the overlap interviews that he does one-on-one. I don't like it when they all get together and just stop getting their rah-rah pom-poms out for the top six. I don't like that, but these kind of things I do certainly like. But yeah, Eddie came across just as you would expect. We've seen him before on the High Performance podcast speak so well, and that was before they started charging you to watch it. I've never watched it since, Jake, so I wonder how many other people haven't done that, but good luck to you anyway, mate. But yeah, it was great to hear Eddie talk and open up about not just being a manager, but life as well. He talked about a lot of things that resonate with us, with our day-to-day struggles. I mean, he talked about how when he was at Burnley and didn't quite work out from probably the most unsuccessful period of his managerial career. It was kind of marred with the death of his mother, and I can certainly relate to that. I lost my mother not too long ago, and she was a huge part of my life as well, and a huge part of a lot of people's lives. And it does knock you for six, grief like that. It can really throw you off your game. Whether you're a sales manager or you're a football manager, it doesn't really matter. And it was refreshing to hear Eddie talk so openly and candidly about that. And he talked a bit about his family as well, his boys, and what he's like at home, and how he takes the job home with him and stuff like that as well, grabbing a piece of paper when he's watching Champions League because he's got an idea. And it was really refreshing to hear. But then when he talked about being the Newcastle manager, it's pretty clear that certainly with the Dan Ashworth situation, a lot of people had questioned whether Eddie was wanting to work with Dan Ashworth, whether there was an issue there. We questioned that as well. It was very clear from what Eddie said that previously when Dan Ashworth was there, and Neville kind of tiptoed around the question, but Eddie said that he did report to Dan Ashworth, and he spoke to Dan Ashworth regularly about targets and other football matters and things like that as well. So it wasn't a case of Eddie not wanting to work with Dan Ashworth. The reason that Dan Ashworth has decided to go into his garden and clip his tulips, it's obviously because he felt Manchester United was a bigger job for him. And good luck to you, but you're still on garden leave, mate, and they're a fucking dumpster fire, and you ain't coming back to Newcastle. So I think you've cooked your fucking goose there, Danny boy. But going back to Eddie, again, he talked about the type of players as well. The players have to buy into his strategy, and he expects a lot out of players in training. And if you don't get on board with that, then you're not going to really survive under him. And again, it was powerful stuff, really, and just a gentle reminder, I think, to all of us is not just what a good manager this guy is. His stats speak volumes for that, but also what a good man manager he is, just by listening to him talk and the way he invests in his players. And we heard that from Sean Longstaff the other day about how he put his arm around him and helped him through it. And Kieran Trippier speaks so highly of Eddie Howe, and even Bruno and Isaac and these kind of guys as well, that they all speak so highly of his man management capabilities. And you listen to him talk, he's a very learned individual. He's travelled the world in terms of his football knowledge. He's taken another training sessions, but you can tell he's consumed a lot of literature and and assistance, to kind of help him through his day-to-day life and how he manages expectations and his temperament and all this other stuff as well. And there's all these self-help books out there that we all dabble with now and again, but Eddie's definitely done something, I think, that's really helped him become this kind of strong, resolute character that he is. And I just find him a really impressive bloke, and I just wanted to come on and do a little reaction video really about it. And I'm proud that he's our manager, and I think, again, it was a gentle reminder that no matter how much we can critique some of the mistakes that he makes, and he does make mistakes, and I think this season he's probably learned from it. He's a young manager. I think this season will make him a better manager next season, because of the things that he maybe was a bit stubborn with this season that didn't quite work out for him. And you can almost feel and see and hear that he has worked that out. He has figured it out, that maybe that isn't going to work from going forward. But, we do seem to forget how young a manager he is and that he's still learning his trade. But that was a gentle reminder of just how far ahead he is from the previous incumbents of the job. It's a who's who of wheel of mediocrity, isn't it? From John Carver to Alan Pardew to Sam Allardyce to Steve Bruce, the pinnacle of mediocrity, really, the previous manager to Eddie Howe. And I just think for us, we should just appreciate this guy that we've got, this kind of young, vibrant, intelligent, articulate manager who looks at the analytical side of the game and can work out strategy and planning and everything else as well. And yeah, for any Eddie Howe doubters, I think, go watch that video and it might just calm your fears as to whether this guy is the right guy to take us at the next season and beyond. I certainly think that he is. We've never called for him to be out. We've questioned some of his tactics, and rightly so. That's your right as a football fan. You're allowed to do that, contrary to what previous journalists say to you when they're riding their white steed of kind of righteousness to tell you off for having an opinion as a football fan. You're allowed one. It's okay, and it can differ, it can vary, it can blow with the wind. But I think certainly with Eddie Howe, impressive man, impressive manager, definitely worth a watch, guys. Go check it out. As I said, Gary Neville doesn't need me to help him boost his views and his sub count and everything else, but a very enjoyable watch indeed for a Newcastle fan and just a person as well. Maybe something that Eddie might say about how he deals with struggles and issues that the day-to-day life bring. It might just resonate with you, so it might really be worth a watch if you're feeling a little bit low and you may be looking for a little bit of assistance as to how to handle whatever you're going through in life right now. So go check it out, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you like this kind of a thing. We're at 7,500 subs. Help us grow, get to that 8,000 mark. That's the next milestone. Have a cracking day wherever you are, everybody. Hope the sun's out like it is here. Enjoy it, and we'll be back with some more Newcastle United banter soon. See you later. Cheers. Bye.